Easy, easy. Vanetta. Hey, Vanetta. How you doing? Hey, PT. Nightshade. Cordy. Yo, Lau. Hey, Bobby. Ryan Davis. Rob Walker. How you doing, Rob Walker? Good evening. Robbo. What's up, Robbo? Hey, Renee. Hey, Darlene. Corey. Chris Crouch. That's fun to say. Chris Crouch. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whoever you are, wherever you are, whenever it is for you. It is live at 5 somewhere. Do I think the Iranian nuclear. What? You know this is about Ukraine, right? Why would you even ask such a question? I don't know anything about Iran. Israel's always under attack. What's the big deal? Jeez Louise. You working out, Bobby? Does that mean that you're running late? I'm running late. Smoking cigars in the name of Ukraine. That's some self sacrifice. Hey, Big Lofty. Some comments in this live were filtered to protect the community. I have electricity, Cordy. Yes, I do. My electricity was never out. That plant is southwest of here. And we, as to the best of my knowledge, we in this part of town were unaffected by the loss of the Centron Ergo thermal power plant. It was completely destroyed by all accounts. And it is a problem because it does provide electricity to about 1 million customers, literally. America is not currently actively involved in the Iran conflict, so I don't think your question has any basis in reality. Hey, Mad Mike. Thank you, Tim Lilly. Nice to see you. Hey, Big Hawk. Thanks for sharing the live. Thanks for liking the live, everybody. Steve Kennedy. It's nice to be live. You know, I had a 3-week ban there. Every time I got on here, I opened my mouth, I got shut down. So I'll try to be good and see if I can get through another hour. It will be an hour. What does that say? It will be in an hour. You not seen what's happening. If you're talking about the explosions by the Kersh Bridge, the latest that I hear is that there were just explosions reported in the vicinity of the Kersh Bridge. And I don't have any more information than that. America has said they will defend and retaliate. Israel, Iran won't be able to give Russia heads. Yeah, I don't know that America has said any of that, Jake. We've been really worthless lately. I really wish the U.S. would push like other testing benefits for micronuclear to help rebuild Ukraine. I don't know enough about micronuclear, Russell. Personally, I don't know when nuclear power became a good thing again. And I'm deeply concerned about it. You know, fusion would be one thing, but fission reactors, and I understand the new fission reactors, yada, yada, yada. But no matter what you do, you've got spent fuel rods that you've got nothing you can do with for 10,000 years. That's a fucking problem. Thank you, Andy. Yeah, Steve, how you doing in town? How's Kyiv treating you? Sounds like pretty good. I really don't know why I got banned. I really don't. Hey, Anna. So I'm really trying to be careful. I thought, right, this is me being careful. Hey, Chrome777. I'm using the Czar of Ashes. That's my nickname for that guy, the Czar of Ashes. So, what news am I missing? Way 12, 12, 1. What am I missing out on? Because no, I haven't really seen the news. It's true. I was busy all day. You guys might have seen the videos. I was out at X Park for my buddy's birthday. Iran has just launched 100 drones and missiles at Israel. America getting ready to retaliate. We don't talk about Iran and Israel on this program. The entire Hamas attack and the war with Israel was engineered and funded by the Kremlin in order to distract from Ukraine. 10 times as many civilians have been unalived in Ukraine as have been unalived in Israel. The war in Israel does not threaten the peace, security, and economies of Europe and North America. Yes, it's a tragedy. Yes, it's a sin. But it's a small regional conflict. And I don't support what Israel is doing. I don't support the way they're handling the war. When I look at how the Ukrainians are prosecuting the war here, how the Ukrainians are so careful in not striking non-civilian or non-military targets, so careful in preserving civilian life, so careful in how they shell, where they shell, when and how and cluster munitions are used. And then I see the carelessness in Israel. That goes a long way toward explaining why my focus is Ukraine. Because these people are not only in an existential fight for their lives, as the Israelis and Palestinians both are, but they follow the rules, which nobody in the Middle East can make that claim. So Iran launched 100 drones. Who gives a fuck? We get 100 drones launched at us every night. So to me, I don't give a fuck. I really don't. That situation down there could have been resolved with a two-state solution the way that it was supposed to be 30 years ago. But the Israelis won't let it happen. The parties of God have decided that God has made this land theirs or theirs, and never the twain shall meet. That's a recipe for disaster. Don't blame the Palestinians for all of this. Don't do that, because it's nonsense. Netanyahu has said that the dream of a two-state solution is a fantasy that the Palestinians will never realize. Well, that's not negotiating in good faith. You know, the idea that if I can just steal enough land, if we can get all of the Arabs out and get all of the Jews in, we'll finally be worthy of the return of the Messiah. That's what these people believe. It's nonsense. How will the U.S. fight on 3 fronts? The U.S. can fight on 6 fronts. Please, we're not Russia. We're competent. Oh, wait, I'm sorry. Are you a different Steve Kennedy? Or are you the one that's in Kyiv right now? Because if you're in Kyiv, I expect a pint tomorrow. Not at some future mystery date when I'm in the UK. That's me, Pennsylvania Peter. Okay, you're in London. You're a different Steve Kennedy. Sorry. Oh, no, John Kennedy. Oh, God, I'm supposed to meet John Kennedy tomorrow. Sorry, Steve. I had a long day. The sun definitely got to me. The U.S. isn't fighting anywhere exactly. I'm upset that Ukraine blames U.S. instead of relying on the EU. Uh, I mean, the EU. You know, Maddie, I've lately been very disgruntled by some of the anti American bullshit I am hearing out of the mouths of Ukrainians, bad mouthing America after we've written checks for $128 billion. I'm a little sick of it too. You don't have to be grateful, but you sure as fuck can't be ungrateful. Over 250 Patriot systems are available worldwide. Yeah, and the Ukrainians only asked for 7. Come on. Let's get them 7 people. Yeah, but the Ayatollah is not in Palestine. Getting the Kennedys mixed up. I used to have a little song to keep them all straight. There's Bobby and Jackie and Jack, and myriads more in the back, plus Ethel and Teddy and Pat alone, plus Eunice and Peter and Jean and Joan, and what's his name, Stephen, and hold the phone. The one in the army, Captain, Major, Sergeant, that's it. Right on, Steve. I gotta get to London, man. I haven't been in London in 20 years. And if you're buying the curry, I'll come. Little chicken tikka. Germany is supplying, well, Germany already supplied one. Is this a second one, Sharon? Chicken tikka. I like a chicken tikka. Hey, Wampa, you coming to dinner tomorrow, pal? You mean Fraser? Hey, Pugga Mahone. Awesome sauce. I'm really looking forward to that. Did you do the wake? No, I didn't do any of that shit. I didn't climb in the trees. I didn't do the wakeboarding thing no. Hey, Mike. Hey, Samso. Yeah, Maddie, it's frustrating. Look, remember what Jesus said, right? Never let your right, when you do something nice, never let your right hand know what your left hand is doing. And so give without expectation of thanks. And that's how it should be, right? We don't have to be thanked. But being blamed, it really does burn your ass. I agree. It's a load of shit. All that these people are doing are playing into the Kremlin narratives. It's all they're doing. Oh, Julian, I've been eating so well, it's not even funny. You should have seen my buddy's birthday today out at X Park. That's where I was. My buddy Stas has turned 34 today. Him and the wife and their beautiful baby were there, and then some friends of ours and their babies. We grilled steaks and chicken and pork and tomatoes and peppers. It was beautiful. I brought some hummus and some pita and had a really, really great day, really. Have you heard about... No, gosh, no, Pugga Mahone. Haven't heard a thing. Why don't you tell me all about it? Hey, man, medical instructors here in Ukraine, any thoughts on how to get IFACs donated, we trained. I don't know what an IFAC is. What's an IFAC? I feel as another continent without being in the EU or NATO, we are not to fully blame. No, the only person to blame in this is Vladimir Putin. Row all trees, good night. To soldiers we train. Individual first aid kit. I use beeswax on my eyebrows exclusively. Organic beeswax. Individual first aid kit, an IFAC. Oh, interesting. I think, isn't that what Blue Ariels does? Isn't that what Blue Ariels does, is provide IFACs to Ukraine? Is she here by any chance? Iran is not going to war on Israel. Iran has signaled very clearly that their strike against Israel will be a proportionate strike for the strike on the Iranian diplomatic compound in Jordan. In Jordan? Was it Jordan or Syria? Anyway, there was a recent strike by the Israelis on a diplomatic compound, which is against all the international norms. It's against all the rules to do what Israel did. And they struck the compound, killed a bunch of folks, and now Iran has said that they are going to have a proportional response and have signaled that they do not want a wider area conflict. So it seems highly unlikely to me that Iran is going to do anything but strike back, proportionate response, and that's going to be the end of it. If Iran is going to war, and frankly, if Iran is going to war, good. Because, thank you, Sea Tank, it was in Syria. If Iran is finally going to stand up and actually have the balls to then please, let's all meet on the field of battle and get it over with. Then please, let's all meet on the field of battle and get it over with. Because it is time to end that evil in the world. Them in North Korea. I'm so disappointed. There was a time that half the population of Iran was under the age of 30. And I thought, surely this population is going to rise up and displace these mullahs. And we're going to finally have democracy in Iran and Iraq and Kurdistan. And nope. The mullahs just keep it up. How will the USA respond to that? I don't have any idea. I don't know that it's our job to respond to it. Especially not with, Israel broke the rules. It's just another example of them doing whatever the fuck they want. And they hit an embassy or an embassy compound, consulate, diplomatic mission, something like that. Somewhere that is supposed to be exempt from those kinds of strikes. So if you're going to break the rules, you should be prepared to suffer some consequences. And Israel is just breaking the rules all over the place. The world has always been mad, Krina. The USA can't get the humanitarian aid approved. It's stuck. The $9 billion for Gaza is stuck in the foreign aid bill along with the $60 billion for Ukraine. And Moscow Mike is holding the whole thing up. me see here. What time is it? Ugh. Okay, we're about halfway through, guys. So I want to take a minute and I want to thank the moderator team, Cheyenne, Vanetta, PT, John Williams, Jay, and I didn't see Travis tonight. I also want to thank the sponsors of tonight's live. Normally, if you contribute over $30, you get a live sponsorship. I have a list of people who contributed $30 or less, and I want to thank them all tonight, give them the Saturday night sponsorship. That's Laurel W., Andreas, Dive Hard, Daniel P., Mirko Z, he, and longtime supporter of the channel, Byron Ordway. So Laurel, Andreas, Dive Hard, Daniel, Mirko, he, and Byron. Thank you guys so much. I'm really behind with because so many people sent something to support the visa, and that was 3 weeks ago, and we've only had 5 lives since. So I'm way behind, and I'm glad to be able to shout out to those folks. So thank you, everyone. It was a big deal. It's a big deal. It was a big trip, and we got a lot done. So look, I do not want to talk about Iran and Israel anymore at all. I don't know enough about what's going on there. It is not our focus here. Does anybody have access to the internet? Do we have any more information? What do you mean by that, Sharon? I think I'm funny. Drones in air eat. Are you talking about Iran again? I just said let's stop talking about Iran, please. Does anybody have access to the internet? Can anybody tell me, did anything else happen at the Kersh Bridge? Just before I got on the live, they were saying that there were explosions at the Kersh Bridge or in the vicinity of the Kersh Bridge. And I'm just wondering if we have anything new. The bridge does appear to be closed. But that's all I got. Can't say that, Kim San. Don't know. There's a lot of choice targets right around the bridge, right? We've had this happen now twice where we get news about something nearby being struck, like the Ivan Kotev. There was a ship, there was a frigate that got sunk right by the bridge. And closed is a regular occurrence, as Graham Brody correctly points out. Any kind of air alerts in the area, drone sightings in the area, they close the bridge right away. Thank you, Pugga Mahone. Yeah, I don't see anything either. I just tried the same thing. Maddie, tomorrow's schedule would be 12:30 Eastern time in the USA. Thank you, Gigi. And that's a big thing, right? Sometimes I think you're right, PT. I think the Ukrainians fent toward the bridge so as to draw air support and other assets toward the bridge, but then they strike something else. I definitely think that that's a thing that happens. So for tomorrow at 7:30 Eastern European time, 5:30 London time, 12:30 Eastern time, and 9:30 a.m. Pacific time, we'll be live streaming the Laughter is the Best Medicine comedy hour here on the Tickety Talk. And then I'll try to take the live recording and post it to the Tuba U's tomorrow. Is the event formal or can you go in your poncho? Please wear your formal poncho, Wanpa. Please, only a formal poncho will do at Gonzo Bar. It's called Gonzo Bar. The bridge still has 4.2 stars on Google. Wow. Was it on Google? Did you say? Yeah, 4.2 stars on Google. Well, the view is spectacular by all accounts. Thank you, Leo Ring. Hey, Leo. Dude, now I'm pissed. I have a poncho and it's in a storage lock. Well, it's in Bobby's closet now. We could have had matching ponchos. True Wise is here. Hey, True Wise. Oh, sorry. Thank you, Maddie Wright. I'm trying not to. I should have went wakeboarding. No, I should not have. No, I should not have. No, I should not have. Yes, thank you, Pug Mahone. I'm aware of that. Why? Because I'm too easily injured anymore. I get injured just getting into bed. The Russians could use some ponchos to stop grenades from raining. The Russians could use some fashion sense, first of all. Yeah, no, I'm not doing any of that. Good job, Bobby. You're running late though, aren't you? Because it's 2:30 your time. You should have been done a half hour ago. What happened? You have company this morning or something? I don't wear muumuu dresses yet. Yeah, me neither. Me neither. Good evening, Rescue Doodle. You've been slacking, huh? Although you spelled it slaking. You've been slacking, huh? Although you spelled it slaking. I don't know when the last time I grilled out was. I mean, grilling, being on a grill, barbecuing was an integral part of my life for a million years. And I can't remember the last time that I barbecued. It might have been at my buddy Marcos's place in San Diego. My buddy Marcos and his wife, Zoe. It might have been then. And that was like the January before I came out here. So like 16 months ago. It might have been longer than that. I'm not sure. But it was certainly nice. You know, I took a cheap cut of beef. I marinated it overnight in a red wine vinegar, garlic and rosemary. Threw it on the grill when I got out there. 7 minutes on a side. And it was perfect. Well, it was perfect for me. My buddy's wife wouldn't eat it. She was afraid of worms because it was too undercooked. It was perfect, I'm telling you. Okay, Wanpa, good night. Yeah, 5:30, please. We have an hour and a half dinner break from 5:30 to 7, and then the doors open at 7, show starts at 7:30. There's no way it's hundreds of missiles. There's no way that it's thanks for the galaxy. I love a galaxy. I love the fact that there are 2 trillion known galaxies. Like, that's amazing beyond words. There's no way that Iran is sending hundreds of missiles at Israel. No. They assured all the messages, all the diplomatic messages to the United States were assurances that there would be a proportionate response. To send hundreds of missiles would be a declaration of war. Damn right we will. Nope, not blue rare, pink medium. Because it wasn't a good cut of meat, right? So it's not the kind of thing that you could eat rare. Drones, that's a possibility. Hundreds of drones is a possibility. Although, that seems extreme too. Yeah, if Israel even has nukes. I mean, technically, they've never acknowledged that they have the, what is it, 9 that they have? Something like that. Or maybe it's more these days. Ooh, another one. Nice. Thanks, Tom. You know, that's nonsense that you only need one nuke. What do you think a nuke is? We dropped 2 on Japan. I mean, come on. And both of those cities are still inhabited. Yeah, B, that's very common. Thank you, Tom Weber. You're making my night. Literally. You need hundreds, if not thousands, to take out a big country. Right, exactly, Kim San. Who has shipborne nukes? The Israelis? No. I don't know. What was the death toll from Hiroshima and Nagasaki? Can anybody look it up real quick? What was the immediate and long-term result of Hiroshima and Nagasaki? I mean, everybody has this boogeyman notion about nukes, like, ooh, if the nukes go off, it's the end of the world. Bullshit. Bullshit. And not that I want to see it happen. I don't want to see it happen. I would like everybody to maintain a deterrence perspective on their nuclear arsenals, please. I would like to see this conflict end with the Russians denuclearized, because they are clearly a threat to the world with their nukes. But we can't be afraid of it. We can't be afraid of these nuclear blackmail from these bullies. We can't live in fear that, ooh, if a nuke goes off, that's it for the world. Yeah, remember the neutron bomb? No, we didn't promise to protect them. We didn't promise to give them back their nukes. None of that is true. People have nukes because they were invented and then people wanted them and now we're not sure what to do with them. So less than 250,000. You are lost. Well, then fuck off. Who cares about you? I don't care. I mean, really. You're living in a nightmare fantasy world of your own fears, in a cage of your own fears. Yeah, the Budapest Memoranda only calls for non-military and economic assistance to Ukraine. That's all it calls for. Now, that's not to say that I don't think that we don't have a moral obligation here. I do believe we do, but that's an argument that you have to have. Yeah, Dive Hard, they got a whole special unit for that really does provide for a lot of international security. I'm not sure that I'm not sure that Putin could launch them if he wanted to. And look, I'm not trying to minimize the loss of the Japanese. I'm not trying to do that. I'm just trying to say that Japan, in the face of having been attacked, life there continues unabated. It is not the end of the world. Oscar, it's my considered opinion, and I am certainly not an expert in this, but it is my considered opinion that it is 1989 all over again. And that 3 years from now, there won't be a Russian Federation to worry about who's in charge of it. We'll have to worry about a bunch of different warlords who are squabbling over areas of what used to be Russia. I don't know how it can work out any other way. And then what we do is we do the carrot and the stick with denuclearization and end of sanctions, right? If you're one of those territories that ended up in possession of some nukes, you give them up and we'll help you rebuild your economy, enter the World Trade Organization, get in the world, maybe get into NATO or whatever. And I think that's the carrot and the stick that the United States and the international community ought to be thinking about as we think about how the country's going to fracture and what pieces are going to need to be picked up after it does. Because Putin is doing everything right to make sure that this thing tears itself apart at the seams. Just tears itself apart at the seams. I don't see how any other outcome is possible. And if Putin goes full-scale nuclear, the US and the US and Europe together have far more nuclear weapons than Russia does. I mean, it's not even a contest. And one thing you can bet your bottom dollar, ours all work. They'll go exactly where we point them. And the same cannot be said for Russia's nuclear program. Not even close. Not even close. So to live in fear of this boogeyman is stupidity of the worst kind. Oh, I put the taskbar on auto hide. Now I don't know what time it is. Okay, we got 10 minutes, guys. Putin wants power, right? He doesn't want to be the person responsible for ending the Russian people and language in the world. Nuclear non-proliferation possibilities have taken a hit since the Budapest Memoranda was ignored. You're not wrong about that. I feel bad for the Russian people who have been living under dictatorship for so long. At some point, you have to grow up and depose these guys. I just wish the speaker would go away and stop blocking aid to Ukraine. You and me both, Bomba Guy. Hey, Clay, I got nothing funny. You got anything funny? I got nothing funny, man. Let me think. I think I've used this one on you guys before. This is a Peter Alexievich original. What do you call a Russian with a dozen eggs? Anybody know? What do you call a Russian with a dozen eggs? An oligarch. Right, Tigger Poo, exactly. Comment on Colonel McGregor, Scott. Oh, God, really? Oh, you want me to comment on them? I don't comment on them. They are the worst kind of people. PT remembers. Clay remembers. Did you hear that? I forget. Foreign Minister Lavrov was complaining to Putin that the country is too big, that the 11 time zones that comprise all of Russia is just too much. And he said, my wife is vacationing in Kamchatka. I call her to say goodnight, and her and the kids are already up and at the beach. Could we make it all one time zone so that those things don't happen? And Putin says, oh, I know what you mean. I had the same thing happen just recently. I called Evgeny Prigozhin's wife to give her condolences, and the plane hadn't taken off yet. While we're doing jokes, Vanetta's doing something important. Sign the discharge petition letter. There's a letter to your congressman that you can send. You can just download it and send it to them, telling them to sign the discharge petition so that we can get around Moscow Mike. And we don't need that many signatures left, right? It's less than 30, if I'm not mistaken. What do French fries do when they haven't seen each other in a while? I don't know. What do French fries do when they haven't seen each other in a while? Russian with a dozen eggs defined broke. I don't know what that means. Right, Bobby. That's the way to make Russia a single time zone. Just go back to the original Muscovy boundaries. I'm with you. They sit and catch up. They sit and catch up. Have you seen the video of the Russian soldier running around without a weapon? I have not, Kim Sam. Maddie Wright is sad. It's going to be a tough couple months, Maddie Wright. Hang in there. A Russian with a dozen eggs has no money left. Oh, man. It's not... I mean, we try to look on the bright side of this, crack a few jokes, but of course it's a tragedy. You got 20% of Russia that doesn't have an indoor toilet. And all the time, the people that are stealing everything from them are telling them how great they're living. And that in the UK, they're having to feed their people squirrels because the economy is so bad. And so many of them believe it. Just running to the Ukrainian trenches under a heated gunfight with no weapon. Oh, so he was deserting. You ain't got no toilet, Lieutenant Dan. Lieutenant Ivdan. Bobby, you are single-minded. Do I think they're going to get to 218 with the discharge petition? God, I don't understand how they can't. I mean, they've got 218 votes. The numbers on that are very solid, but the Republicans have no spines. They won't challenge anybody on anything. It's a sin. America is based on the idea of challenging authority. And to watch these spineless jellyfish who have been charged with this sacred duty abandon it for fear of their Bible thumping, insane legions, it's such a disappointment to me. It's everything that America is not supposed to be. That cult is the worst. They are just the worst. And I cannot wait until their orange Jesus finally meets his Golgotha. Oh, he lost his weapon under heavy fire and in the confusion ran and jumped into a Ukrainian trench. Well, talk about the fog of war. Republicans are too busy stripping women of their rights. Exactly. Hey, EMT Jeff. Statue of Liberty got struck by lightning, then an earthquake happened the next day. So what? And then an eclipse. And you know what? We have an average of 3 eclipses a year on this planet. We have an average of 3 moderate earthquakes a day on this planet. And it wasn't even a moderate earthquake. It was a light earthquake. We get something like 40 of them a day on this planet. Lightning strikes? What is it? It's 2 million a day on this planet. So what nonsense to think that all of that revolves around you. What nonsense. Marjorie Taylor Greene with her time to repent. If it's anybody's time to repent, it's freaking Donald Trump's. The epicenter of the earthquake was less than 10 miles from his golf course in New Jersey, northern New Jersey. The epicenter of that quake was less than, if you're going to make some kind of a sign from God out of it, then clearly it was directed at Donald Trump, not those of us that oppose him. Right, Kim Sam? Yep, Norman, that is what we are fighting. It was Bedminster, PT. Good call. I couldn't think of it. All I could think of was Balmora. Oligarchs and billionaires don't care for democracy, preferring a kleptocracy hidden in a theocracy. And Norman hits it on the head. You've got all of Orangeburg flooded and Orsk flooded and the Altai region in Russia flooded, right? Do you know what the government's response has been? Has it, okay, they've evacuated people. They've prepared emergency shelters for 82,000 people. What are they doing about the dam? It's only today that they actually got a construction crew in there to try to plug the holes in the dike, right? For the last 3 days, they've been sending flights, they've been televising flights of priests praying. They put them in a plane and they fly them over the flooded areas, and the priests pray. How much good do you think that's done? Thoughts and prayers, thoughts and prayers. Jesus Christ, get off your ass and do something. Right. It's the perfect metaphor for what it's like to live next door to Russia. The incompetence, kleptocracy, theft, and lack of basic maintenance creates disasters that don't just hurt the Russians, but that flood over the border, unaliving your neighbors. It's the perfect metaphor for Ukraine. Yeah, they'll tell people it's okay. They were drowned by holy water. $59.99 plus shipping and handling, which was curiously enough also $59.99. Seemed excessive to me. Oh, but it's a great Bible. It's so much better than all the other ones. Printed in China, of course it is. Is it true? Is that true? It probably is, right? It probably is printed in China. Yeah, and the $300 tennis shoes. So they were two. I think they were $299.99 when they first came out, and he only sold a couple hundred pairs or something like that. And so he immediately dropped the price to $149.99 or something like that. It was almost 50% less the next week. Like if you just waited a week. Oh, so it was $399 to start with, Maddie. Then he dropped them, I guess, to $199. So like a week after they premiered at $400, you could get them for $200. Nobody sells Bibles because it's the best it's the most printed book in the history of the human race. There are more Bibles in the world than babies or something like that. I don't know. You know, Dive Hard, if Mike Johnson just brings it to the floor and says it's going to be a loan to Ukraine and that gets it through the House, fine. The U.S. can forgive that loan next year when we have a reasonable Congress. Truth Social is dropping every day. My target price for Truth Social is now $1.80 a share. Yeah, of course you got your Bible for free from the church. China right now is not the problem. Right now the problem is Russia. Well, it could be too that the bandwidth available is restricted. You know, we just don't have the bandwidth here. Yeah, PT, that's also a reality, or could be a reality. Very, very upsetting to me. All right, again, I do want to thank the sponsors of tonight's live. Laurel W, Andreas, Dive Hard, Daniel P. Oh, Dive Hard's here. Hey, Dive Hard, thanks, man. Mirko Z, Henry, and Byron Ordway. I really appreciate you guys. Thank you. Did Russia just retake a little village south of Zaporizhia? Maybe. There's been a lot of advances. They don't total much, but there have been lots of small advances. If you look at it, Judy, on a map, I'll bet you that what that village, I mean, I don't know, but I'll bet that what you see when you look up that village, if it is a village, if there is one that they took, you'll see a crossroads in the middle of a bunch of farm fields, and there's maybe 10 houses around that crossroads. That's the kind of advance that they're making. And it's altogether, I think in the last 6 months, they've taken 500 square kilometers. It's nothing. It's nothing. All right, yeah, I'm going to get some sleep because I have a long day tomorrow. I have my morning meetings, and then I have the show. And I'm getting together with Mr. Frazier and Mr. Pa, and we're going to have dinner before the show tomorrow night. Looking forward to that. So thank you, guys. Sorry, I just wanted to block that account. Chasiv Yar will be the next Avdiivka. Well, it won't be the next Avdiivka because it's such a much smaller town. It's not a good comparison, but it is where a whole bunch of Russians are going to meet their end, desperately trying to take it. They want it. It's strategic for them, and they're willing to sacrifice a lot of people to get it. So keep your fingers crossed that the Ukrainians can hold in there. Thank you, Terrence. Good night, PT. Good night to the moderator team, Cheyenne, Vanetta, PT, John Williams, Jay, and Travis. And good night to Nightshade, who runs the Peter's Peeps group. I didn't see Lars tonight, but Lars runs the Discord server, so big thanks to everybody. Thank you, Terrence. I appreciate that. And I'm going to stay here in Kyiv, and I am only able to stay here in Kyiv because all of you out there are there for me, and I do really appreciate it. Thanks. Make it a great day.